Hello friends, so in today's video I will be sharing my experience of using Hyprland. So Hyprland is a desktop environment or a window tiling manager which you can use on your Linux environment. And I've been using it for last few months, like 4 or 5 months I've been using it, and I'm really loving it. And it's an amazing looking desktop environment. So I will be talking about that. I will be sharing my experience, how I am using in on a daily basis. So let me share my screen and then we can start. Okay, so after logging into desktop or a desktop environment of Hyperland, so I will not be talking about how to install it. Maybe I will show you some reference which you can use for installing it. Okay. So this is more of the way I use, or the more of a using Hyperland video rather than how to install Linux or how to install a Hyperland over your system. So first let me open the Hyperland website. So if you see, this way I can directly search without opening the browser. So I just clicked on Windows key or a super key plus S to search the internet. So it will use the my default browser to search it. If you can see here, it says search via default web browser. So I can just type Hyperland. So I don't need to just start a browser then search. I can just from my desktop, I can just click on Windows S and I can search for any keyword I want to look for on over the internet. So this is the website of Hyperland. Okay, so what it says, modern compositor with the looks. So Hyperland provides the latest Wayland features, dynamic tiling, all the eye candy, powerful plugins, and much more while still being lightweight and responsive. Here it has a small demo for the one of the setup for Hyperland. Okay, so we will be going to the wiki. Now on the wiki we have, like, you can check the installation page for installing Hyperland and all. Okay, so you have a master tutorial, then you have a pre-configured setup. So I am basically using the pre-configured setup because usually if you try to do it from scratch it will take lots of time, but it's up to you whether you want to configure it from scratch or you want to you do a pre-configured setup. But you are using it for the if you are using for the first time, it is good to choose one of the pre-configured setup. So once you install your Linux distribution, after that, so if you have an Ubuntu, Fedora, Arch Linux, so I am right now on the Arch Linux. Okay, so I'm using Arch Linux, and you can see here this is the ML4W configuration. Okay, and this is a pre-configured setup, and he has a website, he has a GitHub repository, and a YouTube video where you can see how to configure it or install it. So all these pre-configured setups are quite easy to install and configure. Okay, they have created a automated scripts to use it. Okay, and you can just use that. So I've tried all these four. I've tried hide, I've tried N4, J coollit, and ML4W. I personally like this J coollit pre-configuration setup. So huge thanks to him for creating such an amazing configuration for Hyperland. So I'm using this. Okay, all are very nice and beautiful, and uh, almost similar experience you are going to have with all the configurations. Just it will be like, the key bindings could be different for these setups. So that you key bindings you can obviously check over they have a configuration or a shortcut key to show all the key bindings, so that you can check and you can explore the key bindings for every pre-configured setup. Now jkulit provides configuration for multiple Linux distributions. So I also have a Ubuntu setup with me. So I use Ubuntu and Arch Linux. Okay. Now jkulit provides Ubuntu configuration as well as Arch Linux configuration and many other Linux distribution configuration. So to have the experience similar, I'm using jkulit configuration, because when I'm on Arch Linux or when I'm using Ubuntu, I want all my key bindings to be same so that I get a similar experience with all my Linux distribution I'm using. So that's why I am using this jkulit configuration. Now he also has a GitHub repository and a YouTube channel. You can go to the YouTube channel and also subscribe it to have the latest updates on the configurations provided by him. So if you go to the website, okay, of or the github.com repository for jkulit, there you can see he has configuration for Arch Linux, openSUSE, Fedora, Debian, Linux, Nix OS, Ubuntu 24.04, Ubuntu 24.10. So I am basically using Ubuntu 24.10 setup as well together with my Arch Linux. So I'm using his setup. So all you need to do is you need to just to run this. If you are on a Arch Linux or Ubuntu, you can go to that repository. So since now I am on Arch Linux, I will be clicking on Arch Linux. Okay. Now to configure this pre-configuration setup, all you need to run these four commands. So first you need to run git clone. Git clone, what it will do, it will clone this complete code or configuration or this repository on your local machine in your home directory and inside this folder. And after that, you need to go inside this folder, give permission to execute the script, and then you can just execute the script. It will ask you some configuration. Okay. Some questions for configuring it. So these are basically whether you have NVIDIA graphics card or not, whether you want to install GTK themes or not. Okay, so you can accordingly uh, answer this. So most of the question you need to provide the answer yes. Only in case if you are not having the NVIDIA graphic, then you can say no. Okay, yeah. So if you can see this question, if you are installing on a Asus ROG laptops, then you can obviously if you're on this laptop, then you can say yes. If you are using any other laptop, then you need to answer it no. Similarly, if you are using NVIDIA, then you can say yes. If you are not using NVIDIA graphic card, you are just using the inbuilt integrated Intel graphics card, you can just say no here. Rest of the configuration, I think you should say yes to. Okay. So after that, after once you know you install this, so you will have something like this setup once you log into the desktop. Now what you can do is you can check all the configuration using Windows H key. So Windows help, maybe you can say that. So Windows H is going to open all the key configurations. If you see here, key binding, sorry. Windows H will display all the key bindings that you can use. So you can see here. Okay, so you just need to remember few of them to get started initially. Later on, once you are using it, you will get familiar with it and you can just install it. Now let me share my experience, how I use and how I find it more productive than using other desktop environments like KDE or Genome or XFC4. So I find this to be more productive. So for starting a terminal, all you need to do is you can just press on Windows key and enter. It will start a terminal. Okay. I want to start more terminals. I can keep on clicking on Windows and enter key. Okay. Now suppose I am uh, checking my top command to check the resources. I want to see all my containers, so I use lazy docker. Maybe I will make sometime a video on a lazy docker as well. This is a very good tool which gives you, a window to manage all your containers and docker images. So right now I don't have any docker images installed on my Arch Linux, so this is showing empty. And here you can do other things you want to do, so you can have this setup. Okay, so if you see, this is on my workspace too. Now suppose I want to do some other thing, so I want to use a browser, and I want to use an other open and other applications. So I can click on Windows and D. Windows T will start a app launcher. It will start, and here you can search, or from here also you can select. So if I type a Firefox or maybe other browser I have, okay. No, it started here. So I want to move it to a different workspace. I can just press on Windows Shift plus number of the workspace. So if I do it 6, so I'm on workspace 6 now. So I can do my browsing here. I can open my. Now suppose I want to again check my resources by my top command. I want to check my Docker containers. I can check. I can just click on Windows tab to go and see all my resources uses. If I'm running a container, I can see there. If I want to, run few things, I can just a few commands here of Linux. I can just do here. Okay. I can go back to the my browser again. I want to do some development again. I can do this. I can open my VS Code. Also, if you see now, whenever I open a new application, my Windows just get aligns itself. So if you see, this is aligned here, and if I want to use my code here, I can just use here, right? I can use open any folders, right, from here. Or if I want to use in a full screen mode, I can just do Windows F, Windows Shift F, I think it is, yeah. Windows Shift F will move the application to a full screen. I can use it here. Okay. Let me see if I have anything. I have this folder. Maybe I can open this. Okay. So right now I have one PDF file here. So like this I can use. Again, I want to, make the window small. I can just press Windows Shift and F. So I will be again aligned to my previous way. Now I want to move it to new workspace. Again, I can click on Windows Shift and I can do 7. Now I can scroll through my workspaces via command Windows tab. So I can move to again my I will say my dashboard where I have my uh, containers display or my CPU uses and other resources display and all. Okay, and my terminal. I can go back to my browser. Then I can switch back to my uh, VS Code where I'm doing my coding and other stuffs. So this is how we can use all my you know application, or this is the way I can use daily basis for my development and other activities. Now if you see everything we opened, it was all the we did it through the Windows shortcut keys. We didn't use mouse a lot. Okay, so we can just start any application. I can start what else application I am having, terminal, image viewer, or if I want to open my file browser, I can just do Windows plus E. So it will open the file explorer. So I just, this is the way we can use it. I just need to press on some key bindings and my application will start. I don't need I will to use mouse a lot. Okay. Again, I want to work on, terminal. I can use one more instance. I can move this workspace to something like workspace 8. Here I can go to some my configurations. Maybe I can go to my NeoVim configurations. I can open my NeoVim. Okay. So here it is. I can check my viewing configurations and all, right? So this is the way we can use Hyperland. So now I have my new vim on this tab. I can go to my dashboard. I can go to my browser, file explorer, my uh, VS Code. Right. So this is all about using Hyperland. Okay. If you want to further do configurations, what you can do is uh, in your home directory inside the .config folder, you will have one hyper folder. This is all the Hyperland configurations. Okay, if I open this, so these are all Hyperland configuration. If we start with hyperland.conf, okay, so this is the main configuration file. Here we have different configurations, startup apps, environment variables, laptops display, window rules, decorations, animations, key bindings. So if you see here user configs, user key binds, this contains all the key bindings. So you can start or open this file user key bindings. Here you can see all the key bindings. So you can, if you want to customize the key bindings, you can do it by updating this file. Okay. So you can just update this file. You want to change some animation related things, you can do it from here. So you can explore these configuration and all. Mostly what I do is I do use Ghosty instead of Kitty. So by default, if you install this configuration, it will be using the terminal Kitty terminal. Since I am using Ghosty, I have replaced this file with the Ghosty terminal. And now when I open my terminal, I usually this Ghosty terminal is started on my machine. And to close this application, I can just or any application, I can just press on Windows and Q to quit. This will close the window that is open. So mostly I do changes in this key binding only. Rest of the things you don't need to change. If you want to change, you can. Also, some I use a tablet sometimes. So right now I have not done any change in the configuration. Yeah, so if you want to do some configuration, you can do it here. So in my Ubuntu machine, basically I am having a configuration. So I will just tell you. So there is a command hyperctl. Yeah, hyperctl monitors all. This will display all your monitors. So right now I'm using two monitors. Okay. Now suppose I want my tablet to to be aligned or associated to one of the monitor. I can just do here output equal to it is showing as EDP1. Maybe I want to change it to HDMI hyphen A hyphen what I have one A hyphen one. And if I write the file on the file, now if I use my tablet or pen, so this is my tablet here and this is the pen I am using. So now my pen will be moving on the one of the screen which I have. So this way we can actually use it. So that's all I think for using it. Since I don't do much configuration, I use the pre-configuration only. So I will be not talking about more on how to change all these configurations. Okay, but if you want, you can explore this. What you can do is you can go back to the Hyperland website. Let me close this Windows Explorer. You can go to the wiki page. So all this configuration, if you want to understand, you can go to this page. So it has variables, all the monitor related configurations, workspace rules, you can understand these configurations. So if you want to do further customization, or if you want to do a configuration from scratch, you can explore all this. uh, you can check this wiki page and explore all these configurations, and accordingly you can update the configuration file. So that's it for using Hyprland, and thanks all. Thank you and bye bye. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Bye bye.